Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk about Tesla, as it's been in the news lately. I'm sure you all heard that in the last while it went up a lot. And so I just wanted to give my 2 cents and just to discuss what I think about it and will I be investing and buying Tesla stocks or not. Before I do that though, I actually wanted to touch base on something else. In one of my previous videos, I talked about how I found money to invest. And one of the things I do is I try to save money as much as I can. One of the things I actually didn't mention is that I actually even cut my own hair. Yes, I'm not kidding. I spent $20, I bought a hair clipper, and the first haircut paid for itself. There you go. Now, I know what you think. It's $20 a month, not really big saving. Ha! But I'm actually smarter than that. I cut my hair 3 times a week, which means I save $60 a week or $240 a month. See? Obviously, I'm kidding about cutting my hair 3 times a week, but I actually do cut it myself. I know it's not for everyone, but as you can tell, it works for me. All right, so let's begin. Tesla. In the last year, Tesla stock went up 500%. It's incredible if you think about it. Now, should you be buying into it? I personally don't think so. And here's the reason. First of all, Tesla obviously a very new company, hasn't been around very long, and it actually haven't made a profit yet. So here's the company that's actually worth now more than combined value of Toyota, Volkswagen, and Honda, which are basically the biggest three manufacturers in the world. Those companies been around for hundreds of years, and they actually been making profits. It's the new company that never made a profit that comes in can be worth more than three of those companies combined? I personally don't really think so. Those other companies, if you think about it, they've been designing cars for many, many years. Because it's not only about producing cars, it's actually about making a profit. Anybody can produce the car if you throw enough money into it, but can you actually make money doing it? Currently, the cheapest model of Tesla, the Model 3, costs around $35,000. Well, for that money, you can actually buy something like Honda Civic for about half as much. And Tesla not really known for their reliability. I remember reading reliability report and Tesla was number 27 out of 27 cars manufacturers. Now, why did their stock went up so much? Well, I think it actually has to do a lot with coronavirus. Because you see, overall, it's actually a very strange trend. With the coronavirus, lots of people sitting at home, they're getting government checks. A lot of those people been actually making a lot less money than what government pays them right now. I read somewhere that if you look at how much people get from the government right now, it's equivalent to making about $56,000 a year. Well, what about people who are working only part-time and making only $20,000 a year, $25,000 a year? Well, now all of a sudden it's doubled or even tripled their salary. Some of them may be living at home with their parents. And so there seems to be a trend with people investing for the first time. If you look at Robinhood Tracker, since the coronavirus started, a lot more people signed up and a lot more people starting to buy stocks. But most of those people, they have no idea what they're doing. They simply going with the flow, right? Just a herd mentality. So somebody says something about the Tesla, and so people jump right on it, right? Because their friend, for example, made 50% in 1 month. Well, the person doesn't want to look stupid, so he just jumps on board as well. Don't want to miss the train, right? The problem is, eventually, that kind of stuff crashes. It may not be in a month, it may not even be in half a year. But at the end of the day, you have to look at, does it actually make sense? Because at the end of the day, company has to be making profit. Company has to be returning some kind of profit to the shareholders. And that's where I see the problem. Until Tesla shows that they can actually make profit, there is no way it should be evaluated this much. I mean, this is comparable to something like Uber, which basically a 9-year-old company haven't made a profit yet. Will they ever make a profit? Who knows? If they haven't made a profit in 9 years, there's actually very little chance that they're going to make a profit. The thing is, Elon Musk is a very good salesman. He promises a lot, and he's a very, very smart guy. Don't get me wrong. The guy's like borderline genius. He has a lot of good ideas, but can he really deliver on them? That's the thing. At the end of the day, don't forget, he's not the one who's actually designing the cars. There is still, we're limited by laws of physics, and as much as he wants to push the science, I mean, he's only one person and it's only one company. Eventually, yes, it's possible that, companies like Tesla will be profitable, but I think it's going to take a long time. For example, in Germany right now, Germany is actually suing Tesla for false advertisement. He actually promised that by the end of 2017, Tesla will have self-driving cars. Well, guess what? Last time I looked, it's 2020, and we don't have that yet. Sure, they can drive on the highway, staying within the lane, but that's very, very far from actual self-driving car. To me, self-driving car is you get into it at your house and it takes you to your workplace by itself. Are we there yet? We're not even close to it. And don't forget, that's only when the weather is nice and you can see the lanes and all the sensors can actually analyze it. What about half the countries in the world that 6 months a year have snow on the road? The lanes are covered. It's slippery. There's ice. There is snow. I mean, a person can barely figure out where the lane is. A person can barely drive in that condition. You think Tesla, self-driving, will actually work in those conditions? I really doubt it. And so I think we are very, very, very far from self-driving cars. And I think that's a lot where that evaluation comes in, is because they think that Tesla is going to do something that no other manufacturer can do, which is basically, it's the software part of it, right? But I think it's not going to happen anytime soon. Right now, like I said, people sitting at home getting government checks, and so they invested and driving those companies up in the valuation. But eventually, the government will stop paying those payments. People will go back to their regular jobs. Because don't forget, when you get money for free, it doesn't feel as valued, right? Because you got it for free. Who cares? When you actually have to work for the money, you're going to be a lot more careful with it. And so I think once everyone goes back to work and life goes back to normal, I think some of those stocks will go down a lot in price. Also, some may say that, well, look what he did with SpaceX, right? Completely revolutionized how NASA gonna be flying the rocket into space. That's true, but I have counter argument to that. NASA is a government organization. And I'm actually a strong believer in free market economy. To me, because I believe free market economy is what drives innovation. Government wastes money and they don't really have the drive to innovate. Why? They get taxpayers' money pretty much unlimited. So yes, SpaceX, it was government organization, and that's why they decided to let private companies compete, because they realized that to drive the cost down, that's what they have to do. So Elon Musk's company didn't have to compete with other companies that already in this business and that making profit. They were just competing with a few other companies like Boeing and stuff, but they were all doing it for the first time. And so, yes, he had a lot of success with it. But when you start talking about cars, it's completely different story. Completely different story. You're competing with companies that been making profit, that know exactly what they're doing. They have the best engineers, battery technology. Tesla not the only one who's developing battery technology. Guess what? Toyota can just buy battery technology from somebody else. But they already have the manufacturing and everything in place to actually make profit. I wanted to show a few more slides. Here you can see basically the Robinhood tracker. You can see right around when the coronavirus started, what started happening with number of users on Robinhood. It went from around a little bit more than 100,000 who own Tesla to almost 500,000. And I actually searched a lot of different stocks, and every stock I searched, number of users just went up 3-4 times at least. And that's what I'm reading, is that basically a lot of people now, it's like they have nothing else to do, so they basically gamble in the stock market. But that's the thing, there's a difference between gambling and investing. Like Warren Buffett says, would you buy a farm for $1 million that doesn't bring you any profit, or brings you 10,000 profit a year? No, you wouldn't, because it would take you forever to recover that money. You want to buy farm that actually produces maybe 100,000 a year on that 1 million investment. 5-10% a year, not zero or maybe even negative. Here's another article I found about this phenomenon. Coronavirus turmoil, free trades draw newbies into stock market. And that's the problem, is that all of a sudden there is a free way to get into the stock market. It used to be that you have to actually pay for each transaction and people would think about it a little bit more. But now it's free to buy it. Why not buy it? Basically, it's gambling. Think about it. Would you really buy a company that never produced a profit? I know I personally wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Again, don't get me wrong. Elon Musk, very smart guy. But that's, I think, one of the reasons why people buy in the stock, is because he's very charismatic and he's a very good salesman. He promises people and people believe and they go based on that. But I actually think sometimes he's over-promising stuff. And progress takes time. I don't see how Tesla can be worth more than 3 other largest companies combined when, if you get into it, that's a completely different subject, and we can talk about it for hours, that there is simply not enough infrastructure to plug all those electric cars and to charge them. And what about third world countries that cannot afford $35,000-$40,000 cars? So no, not everyone's gonna move to the electric cars. And I think the biggest thing is simply they need to be making profit, and they're nowhere near it yet. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. If you like my video, please click subscribe and please click the like button. It really would help me with the YouTube algorithm. And also, if I see that people like my videos, I'm gonna keep making more of them. Again, thanks for watching. Take care.